Might as well start this bad boy.
Okay, we had a good flow going right now. Might as well keep it up.
Cosmic Vibrations episode 4. My main man Noah T. What's up, homie?
Hey, long time no see. How you doing, man?
Doing good, dude. Doing good. I'm happy we got to kick this back off. It's been a bit. Last episode I did was in October.
Really?
Yeah, I need to figure out a way to make this a lot easier on me, because at the moment I film this and then I edit it and I literally do cuts. Either I'm cutting out dead air, or like maybe we say something a little edgy and I have to cut it out, or I'm cutting into the angles, right? Which I think adds some flavor, makes it interesting, but it takes like 5 hours. I can't spend 5 hours on this. This should be like a side hobby that doesn't take up that much time, you know?
You ever seen one of those websites that like allow you to almost subcontract out like some of the stuff? Like I've seen people do it for videos and music.
Yeah, like Fiverr and stuff. I don't think I need to use that stuff. I think I just need to. I was just on a podcast, and what the dude does, well, first off, like we Zoomed, but he just uses the audio. And he doesn't edit it. He just slaps an intro on or whatever, slaps an outro, and then he can post it the next day. So I need to get to that where I don't have to edit this shit, right? Because this shouldn't be like work for us. This should be like hang out with some friends, talk about shit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're doing right now. And I think that's kind of what most of the big dogs do, right? They just kind of film 3 hours of unadulterated, shit, and then they just pump it out to the masses. I don't know. I don't know what Joe Rogan does for advertising, but I know I've seen a couple other podcasts that have like TikToks and Instagram pages, and they take like the best snipping of their talks and they upload them. And
I think it's the way to do it. I think I'm going to try with this one. There's this podcast I've been listening to. These two comedians I really like new comedians. One name's Mark Normand, and the other one is Sam Morril. And they literally do this setup, and they just like put a background around the borders. So I might do that, and they don't edit it. But also they're comedians, so they're funny dudes. They have a lot of charisma. We're just two fucking nerds that play League of Legends.
Oh, dude! You're gonna have to cut that out. You're gonna have to cut that out. I'm not gonna sign off on this.
I'd rather gay porn, dude.
I'd rather have that than League of Legends.
I mean, why not both?
We were just talking about the 10,000 hour rule. Do you think that applies to comedians, or do you think just like
totally
there's funny people?
Totally. I think. Ooh. This is the ultimate question, is like talent over hard work. And I feel like I've always been the type of person to stress hard work. And I remember like my dad, I would like fight with my parents about this, where they're like, yeah, some people are born with it. Some people are born with like the genetics where they can play basketball or blah, 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 which is true. But I feel like that's only true at the 1%, right?
I would agree with you there. Yeah. But like a lot of it is hard work. Cause like we went to high school with, people who were as tall as NBA players, but they did not put it anywhere near, the hard work needed to be in the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah. Including me.
Yeah.
I had a
What
shot.
Are you like going on 6'6" now, 6'7"?
Yeah. I've been shrinking a little bit. No, dude, it's weird being under 6 foot. I feel like being under 6 foot is the new handicap.
Is that really how you feel?
No.
Oh,
yeah, that might be a little too much, but no, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it hurts your confidence a bit, because like all you hear is like, dude, ladies want the tall guys.
That's what they do say. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually, I saw a video, it wasn't even a video, I'm not gonna lie, it was a TikTok about women's standards and how it like infinitely has gotten like more and more high standards. It was like in the 20s, it was like, oh, I just want a husband who doesn't beat me. It's like messed up.
I saw that.
It's probably true now. And in the
it's
70s, it was like, I just want him to have a good job.
Yeah.
And then in the like 20th century, the 2000s, it was like, oh yeah, he needs to be over 6 foot, 6-figure job, be extremely handsome.
It's definitely true, but it's also like, to be fair, it's true on both sides. Right? Because in the 1500s, you're like, I need to fucking make some kids to help you with this farm. So you're just picking like your cousin, right? That's what the Romans would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what's with all the Greek mythology? They're just fucking their parents and it's Oedipus. What a motherfucker. But I feel like now it's, I think it's just the access to information. You see a bunch of different body types, people develop types and shit.
I think I know you were joking, but I think it also has to do with like the expectations on marriage and like having kids, right? Because more and more people are getting divorced and people aren't getting married as soon as our parents were, or having kids as soon as our parents were. You
think now?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I meet a lot of people that are like in their 30s and single.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But like our parents probably had kids in a house by the time they were in their late 20s.
Yeah, it definitely has changed. I mean, it's weird to think about, but like once a lady had her matured down there, they like sent her off, and you had to have kids like right away. There was young mothers,
Well, yeah, I think there was a time century where it was like, if you were 13, you were married.
Yeah, there'd be like 12-year-old queens they would marry to some like ugly, fat, fucking Deutschland or whatever, What a shitty, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, man. Dude, history's weird. And what was that? Probably only 200 years ago, 100 years ago?
Time is strange. But let's get back to that 10,000 hour rule.
200 years. Please, yeah. Let's not talking about underage.
Yeah, fucking, I don't want to get flagged here. That's for the Patreon only discussion. You watch All Gas No Breaks?
I don't. Everyone keeps referring me to it.
They're done now. Apparently because they sign a contract with a company, so they don't own the rights. So they're kind of like kicked out, I guess. Or I don't know if they just parted ways. I don't know what happened.
They sold the rights to their show?
The guy said he wrote a memoir or something called All Gas No Breaks about like traveling around the country, talking to people. And he sold that to a production company when he was 19. He didn't read all the paperwork he signed to start this road show, which he did, where he just goes around and interviews people. So now it's over. But that's a fucking tangent, whatever. We'll get him on to talk about it. Fans? Mom? But the 10,000 hour rule, this is something that fascinates me. And it's definitely like a faith thing. And like, who knows what it is? Is it like a force of the universe, or is it just common sense? You work at something for 10 years. You could say the universe notices, but even in a more literal sense, people notice, right? People notice like, oh, you're passionate about this. Oh, you're passionate about this movie. Oh, you're passionate about this cause. People notice that, and they notice consistently, and some people get drawn to that and they want to help you, right? So I don't think that's the whole encapsulation of the 10,000 hour rule, but I think that's like part of it, where like opportunities come to you. And I've noticed at times when I like really push, when I'm like really trying, sometimes stuff falls in my lap and people watch like, they're lucky, you know? Like, we had a lot of that shit on Blind Cop where we had days we didn't like, it's honestly amazing that we did as much as we did, because we'd have days where nothing was working or like a location would fall through and literally a random dude would walk up and be like, here we got a location, you know?
Oh yeah. The story about the roof. You want to tell me a story about the roof?
The roof story. Yeah. I hate to get into too much. I just talked about on the other dude's podcast, but you know, what's interesting too? I feel like a lot of people are very stuck in the starting phase. They're like, I need to be prepared. I need to make the best thing ever. The dude that I did the podcast with was talking. He was like, I don't know how to make a movie. I went to film school with this kid. He goes, I don't know how to make a movie, a feature movie. And I'm like, you do know how to make a movie. Like, it's not rocket science, especially if you know how to film something, you know how to make a movie. And his whole thing was like, yeah, I can make a feature, but it might be bad. But I'm like, you're just holding yourself back, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's like saying, I could go outside for a walk, but I might not make it that far. So I'll wait till a time that I feel more prepared. No, the time is now, dude. You just mentioned like 200 years ago, little girls getting sold off at 12, you know? That wasn't, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that wasn't that long ago. Now think of the present, and if you keep pushing shit to the future is all funny. The future is, you never reach the future, right? It's right now.
Well, so back to your comment about the, I guess thinking you're not prepared. I know, like, I think some of the best way to learn something is by doing it. However, I do think that there's a certain base knowledge that you need to have before you go into something, right? Like if you didn't go into film school before making a movie, or you weren't, you know, researching, reading, understanding how to make a movie, you would not necessarily be wasting your time, but, you know, your time wouldn't be used as effectively.
It's that whole thing of like, don't reinvent the wheel, right? And you're totally right about that, because people have been on this journey before and they left nuggets behind, you know, lessons they learned. You're right. It's like, what's the balance, right? How much do you prep? How much do you just do it?
I've never been to master's school, but I'm starting to think that thing is a farce. What are your thoughts on? What's your thoughts on like people going to master's school? Like, I know so many people who couldn't find a job, so they're going out and getting a master's degree.
Yeah, and some people close to me too, like talking about the master stuff, and I always tell them I don't think it's worth it. I mean, it depends on the career, right? I can't talk for
definitely.
I can't talk for doctors and other shit, but like for how the reality that you and I live in, it's a sham for the shit I'm doing. If I study filmmaking, you don't even need to go to college for filmmaking. The whole reason to go to college for filmmaking is to meet with similar creatives and grow with them and, you know, connect with them and make friends. Yeah.
My company will pay for a master's degree, but it has to be like in business. But it's not even I feel like it won't really help you, but it'll just, you know, make you more employable, because it's all about a resume in the construction industry, which is just
so you're very into acting. I'm into making movies.
Yes.
Do you think if you started right now and you didn't give up for 10 years, no matter what, you would be somewhere at the end of it?
It's a really tough question, man. I've actually been thinking about that a lot. Like, I wonder if I'm almost too old to start. 24. So by 10 years from now, like, assuming that I get 1,000 hours a year.
What makes you think you're too old? Would you want to start when you're a fetus? Like, you?
No. Like, maybe, I don't know, start like not even go to college, or like
But maybe
spend a year, working or something. I don't know.
Let me pose it this way. Maybe it's best that you didn't start till now, or you didn't commit to it to now. Because let's say you and I, as 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, started pushing, dude. By the time we're 18, we made it and we're in Hollywood. We're dumb, fucking horny, retarded kids, right? We could have fucked it up. We could have done some coke and drive off a cliff. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, think about how many, I was looking at a list of the highest grossing actors ever. And some of them, like you said, didn't really get their big break until their 30s. That's like
totally.
Liam Neeson.
Mm-hmm. I think Oprah too. Oprah was pretty old when she started.
Really, Oprah?
Yeah.
Does it feel like to you that everyone wants to go into the entertainment industry, whether it's being a director or a musician or a producer or any related, anything but accounting,
Everyone I'm exposed to wants to get into the entertainment business, but that's because I went to film school. I made creative friends, but also other people. My brother, he's an artistic dude, but he's engineer. I'm sure there's probably not that many of his friends that want to be filmmakers, want to get in the entertainment business. So I think it depends on the world you're exposed to. That's what's awesome about the world, dude. It's like really big. Now I was thinking about right now, I'm working at a company, and it's a very stressful job and they demand a lot. And while I'm in the company, it almost feels like the center of the world. But like you step back, it's like, bro, there's like a million companies. I could easily switch to one. It could be worse, but it could be better. I think similar thing with like friend groups, it's kind of around who you are. If, this is kind of going off a tangent, but everyone even says this and it totally makes sense. Like kind of become who you're around, right? If you're around kids that always want to go out 5 a.m. in the morning, get up, work out and fucking start filming shit, probably get more shit done than the dudes that just want to like stay in and play fucking Skullgirls or some video game.
I know. But no, I think you're absolutely right. I think you're definitely a product of your environment, whether it's a lazy environment or just kind of like a go get 'em environment, stressful environment. You'll be a stressful guy or cause a lot of stress. I agree, man. There's a lot of companies out there, and right when you're in work, especially if you're working at work, I guess it does feel like that is the most important thing ever. And then I don't know what it's like for you, but like as soon as I wake up and as soon as I'm about to leave, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
And you can't get away from it. You can, even when on your time off, I'm home, I'm thinking about it. And maybe my boss is texting me about something. It's like, I don't get time off. And it's really important to like find that space.
It's only 2 weeks. I don't know about you. And 2 weeks of a year.
Let's be honest. If you want to become your own boss, if you don't want to live the 9 to 5, which I think is most people's goals, what's the right way to do it? Be in the 9 to 5 and just wait for the non-9 to 5, the free life to come to you, or just commit to, I'm going to do this shit until I make it. And there might be some tough years. I might have to sleep on some couches. I might have to fuck some homeless people, but I'm going to make it, Well, it's physics, dude. The unstoppable force. I feel like you got to be that,
A recent fear that I've had is the point of no return, which is kind of a stupid fear, but I still kind of think about it. It's like you get so invested in something and then you fail at it. And then this is all that you've got left, and you just start struggling to try and figure something out. Because like the point that you give up, it's kind of like.
That's a very tough fear, right? Yeah. Like you put a lot of work into something and it doesn't work. Same with relationships, dude. Put a lot of work in a relationship, it doesn't work out. But does that mean you should date anybody? Does that mean you shouldn't try? Does that mean if once you fail, you shouldn't keep? And I hate to be like, oh, fucking, I'm going to be that motivational guy, because I'm not like this all the time. I'm not like waking up at 5 a.m. fucking, yeah, I love,
life. Let's get the most of every single second. Yeah.
Work responsibility.
Ah! No, I got you.
I feel like I have to constantly remind myself this. So I have to. It's almost like there's two of me, right? I have to there's a part of me that knows, and the animal, the monkey part of me, right? I have to be like, all right, I know you're tired. I know your stomach hurts, but we gotta go hard, dude.
You know what another thing is, I guess, is so we're young professionals. We just started our careers in separate industries, I guess. Don't even consider dream industry. You make lawyer videos and I make construction buildings. Or I make buildings. I don't know why I said construction buildings. But the number one thing that's kind of deterring me is I go into work and I'm like, man, in 10, 15, 20 years, I do not want to be like you, or you, because that's the path that you're going to take. It's not going to be exactly like that, but.
So then what's the move, dude? What's the
figure out what makes you happy.
What makes you happy?
That's a loaded question.
Very loaded question.
I know I was happiest when I was on your set for Blind Cop, the trailer. That was a lot of fun. I fear with movies sometimes, especially in the director's role, which I need to just get over. I need to get over this fear, is that it gets so stressful. And I've noticed this in some of my bosses now being in an opposite position, that the pressure gets to me and I can't handle it sometimes. And I lash out, or I be mean to people. And that's something that I'm afraid of. I don't like to be that guy. I don't want to be that dude, Well, I don't know what it was like on your movie shoot, but on the trailer shoot,
10 times more stressful than the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, that was long nights and long days, but it still was more fun and more fulfilling.
Very. I'd still back on it fondly, yeah.
But could you imagine having to show up to a movie set, I guess? I heard I watched an interview with Tom Hardy and Leo DiCaprio about shooting The Revenant. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about the tough times on set and how it wasn't an easy job.
Oh yeah.
To hike up the mountains of where they shoot that, Peru.
I'm not sure.
They shot it in another country, but it was freezing cold. They had to hike a couple miles. It was super stressful on site, but best movie of the year award, Oscar winners, it was definitely worth it.
Tom Hardy's we need to get these furs.
He's the best. I love him.
He has the best accents in any movie. This is the best when you can't fucking understand the person, because there's people like that, That's just awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember hearing stories about that set, and most of the crew quit. Apparently,
really?
Leo and Tom Hardy at the end had to be split away from each other because they were constantly fist fighting each other, getting at it.
Well, that's what came up in the story was Tom Hardy kept challenging people to wrestle, trying to boost up the motivation.
Yeah.
What's the director's name?
Inarritu.
Alejandro. Yeah. What?
Inarritu.
Yeah. He was trying to wrestle him and stuff.
That's funny. I will say though, maybe from the outside looking in, Tom Hardy looks like a douche, but I've been doing jujitsu lately with my coworker. My coworker has been doing it for years. He's really good. He brought me. He's like, you're going to like this. I was like, all right, I'll try it. And it's so interesting. It's very interesting. Have you ever done a combat sport before?
No, I have not.
You have to try it. Cause there is this, with football or any type of sport. I also like rock climbing, right? There's like an opponent, but it's not like a direct opponent right in front of your face, right? So you're stepping back, it's strategic. And with like combat sports, because I used to box too, but even more with jujitsu, is like you're right there. And once you're doing this like workout is what you could even call it too, because it is a fucking workout too. Like it's the craziest workout I've ever done. You're throwing people around and they're trying to throw you and pin you down. And where the fuck was I going with this? Okay, so you're holding these you're there. You're like in this moment with this other person, and this different side comes out of you. This like primal side where it almost becomes like fight or flight. Like this old side of you when you're like a monkey in the forest and the other monkey's like, I want the banana, and you're like clawing it, like trying to kill each other. That's what like side comes out of you. So that's why I think it's interesting to try the martial arts sports to explore that side and maybe use it, in your everyday life.
That's pretty interesting. And I can attest to that, in that like I've played football and lacrosse and some contact sports, but I never played a fight sport, I guess you'd call that. I don't know.
It's that like adrenaline. Have you ever been like somewhere, like you ever had just a rush of adrenaline?
I've had a rush of adrenaline, but I've never had like a fight or flight type moment where like I have to fight this person or otherwise I'm going to lose, or it feels like, if I lose, I'm going to die or something like that.
Yeah. Or with like rock climbing, you can kind of take your time. You can rest if you need to. It's all about you. And it's still a very physically demanding sport. It's a lot of strategy. But I remember like with boxing, when I would have to like spar people, you're in a ring and there's not a lot of room. It's smaller than your room. It's smaller than my room. And all you have to do is like, he's going to punch you, you're going to punch him. So he gets to this mode of you're just like, you're getting hit in your face, you're fucking seeing stars and stuff, but your body is just in like autopilot. It's pretty crazy.
Well, like, I guess maybe this is my personal opinion, but in football or like lacrosse or basketball, I guess there's always just this. You always have it in the back of your head that this is just a game, and they're just going to bring me to the ground and there's not going to be like anything else. With boxing, man, it's like a whole different animal. They could be anything can happen. Yeah,
they could kill you. I mean, you can die in any sport, but especially like, speaking of lax bros, we would play some lax together in high school. And I was never that good because of what you just said, I didn't really take it that seriously. Like I took it as like a workout, but I wasn't the dude in the back of there's dudes that would just go outside and fucking all day, just practice lacrosse. Yeah. All day, dude. They're just like astonishing. You got to watch it. Balls are going in.
I think I've seen it a couple times on the internet.
Yeah.
Pornhub, X Hamster.
Those are the best lacrosse leagues. But yeah, I would never really put in that work. And you're right. When I was on the field, I'd treat it like practice. I wasn't like fucking, I need to use everything. This is life or death, like how it was or whatever when they used to play it. I'm guessing the Native Americans. I know the Aztecs or whatever would like kill the winning team or whatever, which is pretty funny. We should do that now. Why not? Just bring it back. Traditions.
Although, it's so hard to get into sports nowadays. I guess from an outsider looking in, like I remember when we were going through sports, it was like the thought of going to a gym was like a suggestion. It was like a suggestion to go to the gym when we were in our junior and senior years of high school. And now it's like these seventh graders are shooting up and like are huge. They're so huge.
Really?
Yeah.
You might be able to share your screen and like show me stuff.
Dude, is this that type of podcast? Okay, so do you know who Kirk Cousins is?
No.
You know who Bo Scarborough is?
No. I don't know any sports.
Okay. So this picture got shared with you see my screen?
No. Yeah, you gotta click on the bottom. It says share screen.
No, yeah, I got the.
Hey, there we go. It's working out. Noah has started screen. Should double click. Holy shit, dude!
Yeah. So this is
How big is this dude?
Kirk Cousins in 7th grade, and this is Bo Scarborough in 7th grade.
He looks so different from the right to the left photo.
But no, dude, this
7th grade. How old is that kid?
He just graduated college a couple years ago. He went to Alabama. And he just got drafted. And 10th grade.
10th grade.
Here's the tweet. Here's the tweet right here, the original tweet from this guy.
Wow. Yeah, what is it? Is that just like determination, or is that like, you could blame genetics, but that's such an easy thing to blame, you know?
Dude, it's just the standard nowadays, man. Like, I see so many young kids in the gym getting huge, and that's why this guy went to Bama.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's important to do that shit. I went like a period of like a year and a half without like working out or doing anything, and I've been getting into it like, I don't know, past 6 months again. And dude, like, it's so important. I would get like pain, like back pain, like neck pain, you know, and like I would just always be tired. It's like so important to work out, dude. You gotta keep that routine.
Do you think
listen to that, you fatties. Talking to you, you gotta work out, you fatties.
Yeah.
Turn off this podcast. Go do some push-ups.
Yeah. I want 10 push-ups from everyone who's watching right now.
We'll be here. Let's do it now. All right, let's do it, dude. Let's some push-ups. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, man. That felt good, dude. Push-ups are nice.
Maybe that wasn't the best exercise. Can't see it on camera, but, you know, you tell I did it.
The haters are going to say it wasn't real.
Yeah, I work out a lot. Oh, it was easy. 10
I always feel like you were in really good shape growing up.
Me?
Yeah, and I mean that sexually. But no, seriously, I always felt like you were like an athletic person. And we talked about last time, bro. You got to like, what was it? Fucking sectionals or whatever. That's pretty good.
I got to the state qualifiers for in high school for the pentathlon, and then I went to the national championships in college. Well, that was for JUCO, so it's nothing impressive.
Yeah, sports, dude.
Sports.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not entertained watching sports, you know, but I feel like as I don't also put in the effort of like I'll watch some sports and I could see myself getting into it, but I don't know. Everyone's got their thing they're interested in. I guess they spend time on.
Every sport but the NFL really for me, because like the games don't really mean much other than the NFL, because like there's only there's 100 less games in the NFL than there are in
like baseball,
like any other sport, like baseball, or even hockey, right? Or the NBA. So it's like, I don't know. It's just like what?
Stakes are higher.
The stakes are higher. It's just more exciting. It's like kind of like that. I don't know, that animalistic type passion inside you that like you want to see. It's like the closest thing that we have to gladiators, kind of, right?
Interesting, yeah. Or like MMA, maybe is like close to.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand if that's the case. Then, yeah, maybe that's not true then, because why are more people more interested in MMA, right? If we kind of have that animalistic nature to like violence.
Is it newer? MMA is pretty new. It started like maybe late 90s, right? The UFC.
Yep.
And football's been around for a long time. That's maybe why. That could be one reason. And also with football, there's teams, so maybe you could like hey, this is my favorite player. This is my, I don't know.
Well, I guess in two, no, that's a good point in terms of like years.
Yeah.
Like on versus, yeah, that's a good point because the NFL's like been, it's like 100 years old or something.
Yeah. Whatever those Roman numerals are.
But what was it? But lacrosse is like one of the oldest sports in the world, right? But it still doesn't even have its own professional, or they do, right?
Yeah, no one watches it. Yeah,
no one watches
it. I think it's because it's kind of like a different sport, and it's like a lot of people don't understand it. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this too. Everyone, I'm afraid to tell people I play lacrosse.
Really?
Because anytime I do, it's like they get this stigma, like, oh, you're a lax bro, you know? And I don't know. I feel like it's a weird, it's lacrosse has a very weird stigma with that, I guess, because of movies or whatever, but it's a crazy sport. And like, I think once you understand it, you like have a lot of respect for people that can like pull it off. It's not all like lax bros. I mean, look at us, dude. I mean, ladies, come on. Now we look like lax bros.
Look, nice guys. What'd you say?
I said, but we're nice guys.
We are. Yeah. Or so you think. No. I actually had so my intern, he got a full ride to Dartmouth, or ex-intern, I guess he doesn't work with us anymore. But he got a full ride to Dartmouth for cross country. And he kind of gave me an interesting opinion. He said that lacrosse and squash and rowing are all super niche sports. And if you're really good at it, or you don't really have to be really good at it because the stakes are a lot lower. Like imagine like lacrosse is huge in upstate New York, but you go to the South or the West and it's not really a big sport. So it's like a super niche thing. It doesn't really have a career path, but it'll get you a full ride into a college, you know?
Yeah, the professionals that are there make like $17,000 a year. They're making like McDonald's money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a like when someone does something good, it's so impressive because like with lacrosse, it's like you get you have the stick with it. And some people like with their stick, it's like an extension of them. They're so like catch it. And you look at some like lacrosse compilation, it's insane what people can do. Guys, it's tough to fucking even catch a ball with that shit, dude. You're holding a pole with like a small basket and you have to like catch a ball that someone's whipping at you 90 miles per hour. I played it for I don't even know how many years and I still sucked at catching. You know, that was always hard for me. I think I would get afraid of the ball coming too. Because it's like you hear about people.
Yeah, and such a fast-paced sport too. It's just it's so hard to pick up, and then it's so hard to especially get good at too.
Yeah, I've always been rough with cardio too. Until lately, I've been like really trying to do long runs and shit. Lately, excuse me.
What are you doing for long runs?
What do you mean? What am I doing? Like how long?
Yeah, how long? You trying to run up hills? You trying to time yourself? You trying to do it for your heart rate?
I honestly just kind of go by feel. I know, like I think the most I've done, I guess, is like I don't know how long a 5K is. How many miles is that? We can Google it.
Isn't it like 3 miles?
How do I? There we are. Do you see my screen?
No.
Let me try this. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Looky.
There we go.
There's my space background.
Duck, duck, go.
Yeah, I use that instead of Google.
Why?
Because Google, and I know this from the company I work at, Google doesn't give you the top result. They give you the result that someone paid for more. And this also doesn't like track your data and that shit. Google tracks all that and sells it.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta use this then. It's called DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, I don't think it's I don't know if it's a nonprofit or whatever, but I think it's like they just do it. Be good people. What is this?
Dude,
okay,
you gotta plug that, man.
3 minutes. Yeah, DuckDuckGo, sponsor us, please, with your no money.
Yeah, you're not.
But yeah, so 3.1 miles. I mean, I probably done like 3 to 4, which isn't a lot, but it's a good run for me. Would never run that much.
Yeah.
And I could probably run more. But what I usually do is I like to do without music. Listen to some David Goggins. He's like, music is cheating. I'm like, I guess you got a point. The music isn't always there. But
Wait, can you say it again?
He says music is cheating.
Really?
It's not always there. Like when the moment gets tough in real life, you can't just be like, wait a second. All right, let's go. You know, like Baby Driver. Or whatever. And also I don't really have any good like wireless headphones. So that's probably why too. But I usually run a bit like just around my apartment, like on the streets, or I'll go to the park here in Atlanta, run around the park. The park's massive. You remember Forsyth in Savannah? You came by.
Oh, maybe.
It's like Forsyth on steroids. It's fucking huge. Yeah.
Dude, don't get murdered.
Yeah,
there's a lot of creepy things that go down in parks.
There is. Most people don't get murdered though, right? So the odds are on our side. Only a fraction of the people get murdered, right?
I don't know. I've just seen a couple movies where the murder is always in the bush, or the murder is always running behind the runner. Like, you ever seen the show called You?
No.
Not going to give away any spoilers, but there's a scene where someone's going running and another person's running behind them. I guess I am giving away the spoiler. And they take a rock and they just go
yeah.
Gushing everywhere.
What's nice is that most people aren't like that, you know. No one that I've met.
That's the way you said that.
And also what I like about running is like, hey, you might say you run by someone and you're like, it's late and I'm a little freaked out. I just keep running. I'm like, I know I got the momentum, dude. They can't catch up to me at this point. If they really want to catch up to me, they have to start sprinting. I'm already pretty far. I think about this stuff while I'm running, which is pretty crazy. It's just like thoughts zooming through your head while you're running. You're trying to like stay focused.
My biggest thing is I'm not going to get hit by a car because I run with music. And like sometimes I'll kind of space out and I'm like,
I totally space out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like mowing the lawn. Like I just like to think about other things, just kind of space out. It's probably not safe to do when you're running alongside the road, but
I think that's the appeal of it. That's what I like about it. It's kind of like meditation, but you're like exerting force on your body, you know?
Yeah. No, it's good for you in both the mind and the body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. So can we make it? 10,000 hour movie. 10,000 hour rule, I should say. Movie. Whoa.
We can with a little bit of G Fuel and a little bit of magic juice.
I don't know why this isn't lighting, dude. Like it keeps just going out. Yeah. It seems like what you got to do, unfortunately, is you kind of got to suffer. You know, it's like the Buddhism philosophy, life is suffering. You just got to like, you can't push back against the suffering. You got to like notice it and like, you know, don't take it as a good or bad. Take it as how it is. Just some people are like, oh, got to get gas. Oh, I got to de-ice my car, you know?
Yeah.
That's a part of living, dude.
Dude, no. Do you feel like when you got a job, like everything like just seemed like super inconvenient? Like, oh, I got to wash my dishes when I get home.
Oh, yeah. It's
I got to find a parking spot. Oh, I didn't have to do this when I was in college. Or like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything feels like a super inconvenience.
I guess that's just the work-life balance, right?
Just being a grumpy old man.
Let's be honest, it might get a little bit better at a different job, but it's not going to get, you're always going to have a boss in this lifestyle. So the question is, do you want to live under somebody, or do you want to like invest
on someone,
live inside somebody?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to live inside someone. It's my dream.
See, now you sound like a serial killer.
I had a good question for you, and I totally forgot it.
So let me ask you this: then. Why?
Go on, ask it to me.
Why acting? Why not construction? What's drawing you to acting?
You could all the buildings have been built. There's no more buildings to be built. No, that's not why. I don't know. I thought it was
building in Atlanta.
You say that, but I don't see much. I think I don't know. I just kind of chose this career this was plan B for me. Okay, because I originally wanted to do acting in high school, and when I got to college, I read a book and I realized that it wasn't.
And you met the guy that played Pinhead.
Yeah, and I didn't really envy him. I can't believe you remember that story.
Tell that story. It's a funny story.
Yeah, so I was filming with the famed director Jeff Blanc, director of House Shark.
Ron Bach.
Oh, yeah, Jeff's your dad. I'm sorry. Ron Blanc, sorry. It's late.
Got it, Ron.
We went to ScareCon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, ScareCon, the horror movie mini convention in Central New York. Yeah.
ScareCon, yeah. I was like, wait, what's it called? ScareCon? That just seems too easy.
ScareCon. Yeah.
And the keynote was the guy who played Pinhead from the frick was that movie called?
Hellraiser.
Thank you. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I studied acting for 40 years, and this is my big break.
So you just walked up to this dude, this famous act. Did you know he was a Pinhead dude, or he just had like a poster over him?
No, yeah, he had like a big he had like a big movie screen right next to him.
He was in like
a dude with the pinheads.
Wait,
we gotta look at a picture, otherwise it doesn't do the story right.
Yeah, I'll pull this bad boy up while you.
Yeah, and I just was like, oh boy, I don't know if I could suffer through this, and have this be, my only break is being like a Pinhead type, because like to most people that was like an extremely good role, and he had like 6 movies or something crazy like that.
So he said something to you, right? That made you. There was like, I remember you told me there was like something he said that really made you like question acting when you went to talk to him, right?
Oh God, I don't remember.
Wasn't it like you went up to him and you were talking about acting? And he's like, and then I did Hellraiser 1 and then Hellraiser 2.
He did say that, yeah, and I was like, oh boy.
And then he's like, and then you're like, and then they Hellraiser 4 and 5, and then they came to me for 6, and I was like, no way. And then they made it without me.
I can't believe that you remember that story.
Yeah, it's a funny story.
I had forgotten about that story, and then you just reminded me of it. Yeah, that's exactly how it went. And I was like,
and when you tell me that story, I can like picture this all happening. But yeah, him in the Pinhead makeup. I said, no, my beautiful pin face. I was going to make it in a romance movie. But the problem with that dude too is this might be a little harsh. I would hate to call him an actor, right? Because he's playing like a statue. Pinhead's not like in the scene, like crying his eyes out. Why haven't you done it? You know, he's like, I am Pinhead. You know,
I've never seen the Hellraiser movies. I just know that's a very famous character, I guess, in the scary movie universe.
weird movie. I've only seen the first. I've seen clips of the other, and it just gets kind of schlocky. But I would watch the first one. It's interesting. It's weird. It's a weird movie.
What's it about?
It's what is it about? It's there. Oh yeah, there's this box, this like little black cube that Pinhead has, right? But basically, it was like lost, and some dude in the beginning of the movie finds it in like Egypt or whatever, and he's like, "What is it?" And it's a puzzle, and he opens it, and it's like, I guess like technology of like, there's like one way to open it, it's good shit, blah blah blah. And he released like a hell demons or whatever, and he like opens it wrong, and like hooks come out and like rip this dude's skin off, and he's like, oh. And then like the Pinhead comes in, and he's like I guess like an intergalactic hell demon, and he's like there for, I don't know. It's an interesting movie though. A lot of cool like effects, like intense, like kind of a thriller. And I think the next one just kind of turned into like slasher type movies, but the first one, like the first one's like actually there's a lot of. And I hate to judge it. I haven't seen the other ones. Maybe there's some good other ones, but first one was worth a watch.
I guess I remember, going to the convention, and like there were probably a lot of super talented people there, but I just wasn't. It was like a terrible. I just didn't really like the vibe. Like I remember me and your uncle were sitting at a table, and someone bought us desserts. Like we were just sitting there eating their food, and then like here comes like 2 giant sundaes. I'm like, we didn't order these, and the waiter's like, oh no, sir, it was him over there. And then like I look over, and there's this guy. He's like this. I go and talk to him. He's like, yeah, I did a couple episodes of CSI New York or whatever. Here's my headshots. And he like handed it to me, and he's like, yeah, I'm really trying to get back into the
Why you? Did he think you're like a big director or something?
Well, it was like I was running the projector for Ron.
That's so funny.
Yeah, we were like showing amateur films, and I was like really working the crowd, and he's like really liked me. He's like, if you ever want to work together, if you're ever looking for representation, let me know. And one of his clients were pretty big. It was like,
really?
Yeah, I think one of them was Nick Jonas.
Oh,
which he's pretty big now. He's like in the new Jumanji movie.
That's a good point. That could have been you.
Yeah. He's got a movie with Tom Holland now too.
Yeah, the movie looks Chaos Walking. It doesn't look great.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like, here's 2 big actors, and let's put them in a movie.
Remember Hunger Games?
Hunger Games.
What's the other movie that is like that shit? Fucking.
The one with James
like Divergence. And then there's one Divergence.
Yes, Divergence. Yeah.
Maze Runner. That's the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, gave me those vibes. Yeah, that's interesting.
They're fine movies.
I think there's people you meet that you're like, you kind of just, you got to be. I think now we can look at those people, at some certain people, and hopefully like realize when someone's full of shit or not.
I'm glad you said that, man. I feel like there's a big. Don't you feel like that's kind of like very prevalent in the industry? I haven't really been in it, but like the little exposure I had, it kind of felt like that. It's
prevalent in every industry, dude. The industry I work in now, which isn't even like cinema, there's egos everywhere. You can't talk down to me. You can't talk to me that way. Blah, blah, blah. Like it shouldn't, I don't know. Once you make it so much about you, it like, you're not focusing on what's right in front of you,
That was like the biggest thing is like every person I'd meet, they'd tell me about like the 10 biggest projects they'd been on. And that statement is true for both construction and the film industry.
And do you really think the Tom Hardys of the world, the Leo DiCaprios, are going to conventions like that and buying sundaes for people and being like, I was in this, it's like, don't let those people persuade you, because those aren't the people you should be striving to be, right? These people that was in like, and this is my biggest thing I've said with actors, and it's easy for me to say. This is easy for me to say. I admit it. But you meet a lot of actors that they're like, I'm an actor. But what I mean by that is they do like a fucking audition once a month.
Yeah.
Or, like, you should be working on it like your job, dude. Like every day. You need to, or you're gonna lose it,
Not to make this part of the podcast about me, but now you're bringing up like that whole part of that memory that I totally forgot. I guess like to kind of sum it all up, like I just kind of had like a bad experience the first like year I tried it. I didn't even try it for a full year. I tried it for like a couple months because it was remember JJ?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I remember driving to JJ's. Explain JJ.
You want me to explain JJ? So I saw a ad for a auditions for a national talent agency, and I went to this thing, and it was like I left. I graduated high school, and the same day as our graduation, I left to go to this hotel to go watch this dude, and it was like some freaking slick back chump with like
businessman, fucking coked up dude.
Yeah. And he was bragging about how he's in a bunch of soap operas. And at the time, I was like, "Whoa, dude! He was in The Days of Our Lives, or probably wasn't even it." But
and you're what, like 18?
18.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make you big. It's gonna be tough work, but you show up to set early, you make friends with the directors, the casting directors. You're gonna get big, son." He's like, and he's like, for just a small payment of $200, we can give you representation. And then I told you that story. I remember you talking me out of it. You're like, dude, that's not how agents work. You get profit share or whatever, right? And I remember paying him $200, and then like I read the reviews. It's like, yeah, JJ is like a huge scam. Like he claims to be a Christian-based company, and like they just take your headshots and they dip. It's not really worth it. Luckily, I got my money back, but it was like just a scam.
And that's a shame that like there's people that out there that profit on people's like dreams and passion. You see this shit with churches too. You see a lot of big posters of churches in Atlanta of like these dudes in big suits. Like, you don't need a Rolls Royce, bro. It's fine. But it sucks to see that stuff, because that stuff really affects you. Because I remember I was excited for you too. You remember I drove you to I was like, I'm going to drive you there to this conference, and we were to get there, and I literally was running red lights.
I remember, yeah. Wow. Oh
and then
my
we get
God.
there, and we're both like, I feel like I was more nervous than you. And then it's a fucking scam. It's just like Steven Seagal looking motherfucker.
Yeah, you do remember JJ.
I remember JJ. JJ Abrams, that son of a bitch, fucked us. So he took our $200, dude. We want our $200 back.
Yeah, man. And wow, now you're bringing up another story. Now I feel like going on a tangent. Like the time I did some extra work, I finally got on a movie set, and I didn't get paid.
What was this? What was this story?
Didn't I?
You might have told me this, but refreshing my memory.
Have you ever seen the movie American Dresser?
Yes. They didn't pay you?
You've seen the movie?
No, but I remember the story now. Okay. The fucking dude, Tom Berenger, the dude from Platoon.
Yeah.
He like was directing it or starring in it or something.
Yeah, he was starring in it. The movie was called American Dresser. Here it is, right here. It was a pretty big movie.
It was one of the biggest movies that come to our city. Like, and to kind of put it, I think what's interesting too to talk about, at least with our background, is to put it in perspective. We're from Syracuse, New York.
Yeah. And
films is like the farthest away thing from that. The closest thing to a movie was my uncle making super low budget movies all by himself. Like that was the only thing we had. So for a movie like this to come, which was like a $1-2 million budget, we were like shitting our pants. So you got on as an extra, right?
And yeah, dude, and don't play it down, man. It was like 10 million.
Shit. Yeah, it's true.
But
I remember the story. You got on as an extra and then you got like promoted.
No, and like I got kind of like some speaking lines. There was like I don't know. There's like something going on, like a car, and like I was one of the teenagers in the car, and I got like a part. I didn't get to speak much, but I think I got to speak. He had some stunts involved. I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah. I still haven't even seen the movie, so I don't even know if like I'm actually in it.
You should check.
I should, but these two guys were in it. Tom Berenger and Keith David.
Yeah, Keith David, dude, he's awesome.
He is awesome.
The Thing.
But yeah, I went there twice, man. I was an extra for 2 days because I even had 2 different parts. Didn't get paid. So
shit, how much were they supposed to give you?
Supposed to give me like $300.
You hear that, American Dresser? You should get your money, dude. That sucks.
Yeah,
This is probably a SAG movie. I'm guessing it's a SAG movie. You're SAG eligible.
Yeah, dude. I should get my SAG after card. I'm union, man.
Yeah, but let me put it this way, Noah. You started like actually legitly pursuing acting besides doing shit with me, like what, a couple months before American Dresser? And you end up getting on a movie set, and just because of your vibe, your personality by itself, you were able to get some speaking roles with Keith David, dude.
Yeah, and they may have just been like a little background white noise but dude, they're speaking role. Plus,
is that
audition?
Is that not proof that you can make it, dude?
What?
Is that not proof that you can make it? If you put it.
If I can do it, I have an IQ of 30.
Anyone can.
But I remember even going to the audition, and the same deal as in a hotel, but like the line was like out the door.
Wow.
For so long. Yeah.
I remember that was a big deal when that came.
Mm-hmm.
And you like, I don't know if you remember sparking another memory. I was like so impressed with you when you got all that.
Stop.
No, how'd you do that, dude? Tom Berenger? Fuck, I love him. But I remember because my freshman year of college, when I was in Savannah, I applied to be an extra on the Baywatch set that was coming up.
Yes, I
called you and I was like, bro, give me advice.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Because I wanted to, my goal, what you kind of hopped in extra to get like an acting role. I wanted to hop in to get a crew position. So I remember asking you advice, like, how'd you network? How'd you, not even network, but how were you just like on set to be that friendly personality and like get people interested? And I followed your direction, dude. And by the end of my first day, even though I got through a bunch of no's, I finally got one person that was like, yeah, you want to do crew? Come back tomorrow, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that how
I remember I was an extra. We got there like 4 a.m. I think my dad drove me or some shit. I don't remember. And, I'm in line and like I see some of the crew members. I don't know who's who. I don't know who's the director. I don't know who's PAs. I don't know who's the crafty. I don't know who the actors are. So it's like stimulating, So we're all lined up. There's those weird extras in the corner that have done this a million times, and they're fucking like, oh yeah, fucking I was 10 feet from Denzel, you farted in my And I remember just ignoring that stuff and like trying to talk to the crew. And there's like one dude I remember being like, who I'm still kind of, I guess, mutual friends with now. He's got me a lot more work afterward. I remember he had these cool shoes on. They almost remind me of like the shoes from fucking Back to the Future. It's like almost like futuristic looking shoes. I'm like, bro, I love those shoes. And we started talking about it. And he was one of the dudes that actually ended up helping me out. But I remember later that day, I was an extra in a scene. And literally the first shot of the day, I was too close to the camera. So after that, they're like, hey, you're too close. So just go back to holding and just sit there the rest of the day. But they didn't send a crew member with me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And I just peeled out, went to where the crew was, and just like, I remember seeing the director, and I just like stood like 10 feet from him, like the extra standing next to Denzel. And I just was like watching what's going on. And you're just, as long as you're confident, you're just standing there. You know, some people might come up and start talking to you. And I had my fucking like extra clothes on. I had like a sweater vest and like this like weird outfit, and like a button up. And I just remember talking to people, and I finally met some PAs, and I was like, bro, like I'm here as an extra, but I'm going to film school. I would really like, I'll do anything. I'd love to work for you guys. I'll work for free. And I remember dudes being like, no, dude, sorry. Yeah, no, we don't have any openings. Dude. Just go back. And then I would keep doing it. I wouldn't like let the no hold me back. And I finally met one dude, and he brought me to the dude that I commented on his shoes. He brought me to his boss. And that's when they were like, yeah, dude, come back tomorrow. And I ended up like working on that. And that's how I started like working on movies and shit. But I think that just shows like, dude, if there's a will, there's a way. Like we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't come out of our mom's vaginas like knowing to get on a movie set. You know, it's like trial and error, right?
Yeah. Well, tell me the story about working with Zac Efron. That story kills me every time you tell it.
Which story?
I just remember you like, I think, didn't you say you shat next to Zac Efron, and something about like getting him a bottle of water was like the biggest like task in the world or something?
Yeah, I didn't. I remember. One of the first days, I was just shitting in like one of the big trailers, and like this like big dude came in. So I was joking it was maybe The Rock. It wasn't. It wasn't. Like, someone that big has his own fucking toilet. It's a lot better than what I'm using. Yeah, that's funny. I don't remember this water story, but I do remember. Yeah, everything on set is like fucking like everything's a big deal. Everything's stressful. So much shit could go wrong, you know. But yeah, it was cool being with those actors. Because it's like they're just people, you know. But Zac Efron, like I guess because he had to be 0% body fat, he was always like out of it. He would just like walk into crew members. He's like, oh fuck, he's about to pass out in the corner. He got ripped for that movie.
He did get ripped for that movie. The story you told me, it's funny that I'm remembering stuff that happened to you, and you're remembering stuff that happened to me.
It's funny. Yeah,
I remember you telling me like I think it was when you finally got on the crew. You had like one of those little headsets. So you had like the radio.
Yeah.
And like Zac Efron's like, hey, I need a water. And then like next thing you know, like the assistant or whatever is like, someone quick, someone need to get Zac Efron a water right away, stat. And like, just 10 people like wanting for water or something. Yeah.
Fucking water, he's dying.
Yeah.
That's how it is on set. It's like literally, it's like war. They always like liken it to war because you're just like chilling out, and then something happens, and everyone's like sprinting at 100%. You know,
dude, it's like the Truman Show. I just watched that movie the other day.
Good movie,
dude. That's a really good movie. And like when stuff starts going to shit, like on the movie set, you know, like everyone's freaking out. America's freaking out. It's a really good movie.
It is a good movie. But yeah, dude, I think we can do it. I think you just gotta put the effort. Like I feel like everyone always waits for like the perfect opportunity. Once the opportunity is here, you're not gonna be ready unless you're already in it, right? So
exactly.
I'm excited to continue this journey with you, dude.
Likewise, man.
Likewise. I think it's a good place to end it. This was a fun episode. This is the loosest episode we've had in a good way.
You know, we were a little more, excuse my French, a little more fucked up on the last one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It was kind of letting it fly.
Last one and we like went for a long time too.
Yeah.
But all right, brother, I love you. I'm going to
love you too.